Happy Saturday if you are viewing it. Otherwise, happy whatever day you are watching this on. Today is day one of my hell. Day one of summer break. The boys are out of school as of yesterday, the 20th. It's the day that probably teachers are all happy for, but parents are absolutely dreading. But yeah, so now Cal will be going into the 5th grade. Ayrton will be going into the 4th grade. Crazy, absolutely nuts. They got home from school yesterday and said, "Mom, guess what?" And they're like, "We're going to 4th and 5th grade." I said, "Great, when do you move out of the house?" They told me to move out of the house. I said, "Dad won't let me." He says, "I only get one house." I don't know. See what I can do. Work my magic. Lots of goodies to show you guys today, and we're just gonna get into it. So I think I was watching Rocio Kokohama's, and she was talking about this piece I'm going to show of mine, The Plague Doctor. But then I want to say she was showing pieces from her past. Rocio, I could be completely wrong and be getting this confused with another stitcher, but I have a ton of finishes. So I've been stitching since 2016, and I've averaged anywhere from like 30 to like 50 finishes a year. Here it's almost the end of May, and I'm already at 20 finishes. And since I finished them in either pillow form or frame, I want to show these pieces that I have not shown for a really long time. So every FlossTube, I'm going to try to grab some of my oldie but goodies and show them, for they may inspire you to stitch them, or you'll be like, "Oh my god, I have that chart, I want to stitch it." Or maybe you have it and you don't have it finished. Pull it out and finish it. So we're going to start with Plague Doctor. So this is from Buzz, B-U-Z-Z Designs on Etsy, and there is even a female Plague Doctor version named after me. So it was a big stitch along. I forget how it all started. And it's a full coverage piece, but I decided just to stitch the black. I kind of liked the open work of it, and so I thought, well, I'll just do the black, and then if it needs to be filled in, I'll go back. But I really like this sort of rustic, not complete sort of look. And yeah, I fell in love with it. So there's been people that have just done the black only version, but then there have been plenty of people who've done the full stitched version, which is just as incredible. But yeah, I just stitched this with DMC black on sort of a large fabric, or small fabric count, however, which way you ever want to say that. But yeah, I really liked how it turned out, and it is been sitting since September 2017 in my medical bathroom, which I need to dust, and then I will film a video. So yeah, that is Plague Doctor. Another one that I stitched a long time ago, this was in honor, this is the original in honor of Pepe, These Old Bones by Lone Elm Lane. And I'm trying to get it. Let me put on my overhead light. I wonder if I'm getting some graininess. Let me move. Don't know if that's any better. The glare is going to be horrendous though. Let's try there. So I did stitch this on black fabric. And all the wording and everything is back stitched, which was a pain in the butt. But yeah, I didn't hesitate for once. You're gonna get all kinds of glare to do it on black. This round frame, I bought like a ton of them at Hobby Lobby a few years back. And yeah, I loved how he looked in the round kind of Victorian-esque frame. And this one hangs up in my medical bathroom as well. So those are some of my old finishes that I'm going to show you guys for today. And I'll show more next time. Now, this one, March of 2019. I've been looking at it for a while, and I just have so many. Not that I don't love them all, because I poured a lot of time and effort into them, but I've decided that I'm gonna let this one go. So this is the Red and the Black by Prairie Moon. I stitched this in March of 19. I used black anchor, or anchor black, and then gold Petite Treasure braid. This was the original, the black and the red, before they decided to start charging people up the butt for PDF patterns, which I was responsible for having them come back to the cross-stitch world, but they decided to go down their own avenue and not tell me behind my back, which is fine. But yeah, I've decided, yeah, I don't want this hanging up in my office anymore. So this will be available to purchase on my website by the time this uploads. So if you are interested, you can head on over to 1884 Stitchery, and it will be listed under 1884 exclusives, one of the tabs up at the top. It will not come framed. I will just send you the stitched piece, only because in case you want to frame it up differently or make it into a wall hanging or a pillow, but also because the back I've written my stuff. So unless you absolutely love how it's framed up, then we can chit chat. So yeah. All right, what have I been working on? I have been working on the next installment, part 5 of my 1884 Stitchery Sal. It is not too late. You can go online and either purchase the hard copy charts that I have released so far, or you can get them in also PDF, and I send those out the beginning of every month. So I am working on stitching up part 5, and look forward to having it complete in all its glory and framed up. I have also been working on At the Met. I told you guys for May I wanted to sort of do like a monogamous mania, which there's so much black on my At the Met. I needed to just change it up. So then that's when I purchased some things and was able to get the missing thread for the sampler that I'm working on, and I will be telling you more about that after this. So I was doing work on the sampler and kind of going back and forth between At the Met and my sampler. I've gone to a part in my sampler where I want to stop and hold off for a little bit because I don't want to get burnt out on it. So I can see myself going back to this beauty. I just never been good at the whole before and after photos of what I've worked on, what I've completed, but I know I did not have all of this filled in. Now, these sections here where you see like kind of the bluey kind of color are supposed to be all beads. I found a silk that is similar to the Mill Hill beads that should be there and stitched instead of beads. I finished the sash on her, and I also had gone in and stitched in beads. So this is the bottom of her dress. I've come down here, added some of the detail. These were supposed to be beads as well. That is thread or silk, matching silk. And then all of this floral work here is charted to be beads, but I have changed that over into silks that have been a close enough match for me where I'm satisfied. So yeah, I filled in all of this work here, and now it's just black fill in a lot of it. So I love the coverage. I'm doing 2/2, and I think this is 36 count. I did her skin 1/2, which if I do any Miras ever again, I will just do everything 1/2 on 36, because I really like the coverage. It doesn't get bulky with the 2/2 section down here in the black, but I'm just more of a single thread kind of girl. But yeah, so I will go back to her this afternoon. The boys and Joe are going to a birthday party later. The boys have football games, so I'm going to stay and stitch. I'll be going to the football games, but not the birthday party. So, drink vodka. It's not. All right, so let's talk about the sampler that I have been stitching on. Thank you guys so much for saying you love it, the colors, the everything about it. I am in love with it. and it is going to be released. It's an 1884 Stitchery design. Yes. So, it is, let's see, I don't have a full, I'm going to insert a picture of the original stitched piece here. Gorgeous. Fell in love with it. The colors, the font of the third set of alphabet letters. You know that this is not my style whatsoever. If you have watched me or followed me on IG, samplers are not my thing. The colors and the style, though, is my thing, and I absolutely fell in love with this piece and knew I had to rechart it. So it is Helen Swarenson, 1839 or 93. Anyway. And here is where I have gotten to. I have become obsessed with it ever since I got the missing DMC thread that I needed. And just went absolutely crazy. The letters that match the fabric, so here E, F, and G, there are two shades. I think it's 3033 and 613. Very similar. Shows up better in person, but those are sprinkled throughout. And so yeah, these kind of, somebody had said how regal those letters looked. Come on. And then this other set of letters here are all Smyrna crosses. And I was able to get all those done in one day. And a little motif here. And then yesterday I finished the last of the alphabet, which is this small one that runs all the way across. Yes, it is charted. Not all of the letters are included. For example, it ends on Y, goes from X and Y. So I absolutely am loving how this is turning out. All DMC, love the color palette. And so I have birds and crowns and her name to stitch. What else? Yeah, so I'm getting there, but wanted to take a little bit of a break. Not sure on when I will be releasing this, but stay tuned. I'm loving it though. Let's do a giveaway, shall we? I will record my next video on Sunday, the 30th of May. We are leaving a week from this coming Tuesday. We are going to Miami for Joe's friend's birthday. I've never been to Florida, and I'm so excited to go to Miami. And yes, so I will be drawing for this giveaway, and we'll announce the names on Sunday the 30th. I'm going to give away 2 copies of Springtime Blossom. This is from Stitches Through the Years, available on 1884 Stitchery. I will be giving away 2 copies, so your choice of PDF, or I can mail you a hard copy, open to anywhere in the world. and use the word blossom down below in your comments. Blossom, B-L-O-S-S-O-M, blossom. In my last video, I got a question about my wall that I have here. So let me actually, let's see, will you guys go on the chair? You won't, you'll fall over. So, I painted, or Joe painted, the walls this, let's see, gray color, but I wanted a focus wall. So these are vintage sewing patterns. Nothing crazy, they're just old. So I think you can see the circle one is for like a circle skirt, and I think it was like a costume. So there's like Halloween costume patterns up here, and what I really wanted was the color. I was starting to open up the sewing patterns and realized they come in different colors, the paper. Some are darker, some are lighter, and I definitely wanted a mix of both just to kind of add more of a textural element to the wall. And I started in one corner because I also wanted them overlapped. I didn't want them butted up edge to edge. It's the same process that I did in my medical bathroom. You start in a corner and you just start going diagonally with the paper pieces. And so some will be overlapped, some won't. And I applied by using starch, the cheapest starch, dollar store, and that sticks. And then at any time you can also take it down because you get starch out by putting water. So if I would ever want to take it off, which I don't, I love it, or years from now when we sell the house, if they don't like it, it can come off with just water. But yeah, it is just sewing patterns, and I have put nails into the wall, and none of it has fallen down. I think I've had to hit a couple corners with a little bit of starch just kind of put back into place. But yeah, I absolutely love it. I saw it on Pinterest with book pages. So that's where I got the idea for my medical bathroom, to use pages out of a medical book. And then I really liked the idea, so I thought, well, why can't I do it with sewing patterns? I've seen people do it with posters or postcards or anything in the mass that they kind of collect. Now, would you be able to use starch on posters and postcards? Probably not, because the paper is a little thicker, but you could definitely still use that sort of collage idea. I'm just going to show you my finish. So I have a finish here. This is Voodoo Girl, name's Penelope. I did not name her that, that's what the chart is named. And this is from Haberdashery Designs. She came with a needle threader, which was down at the bottom, but I took that off because I don't use a needle threader, and I wanted this hanging, sticking in her. So it has a skeleton, beads, came with the pins, and then these bone beads that already had a hole through them, so I just stuck the pin through the bead to have it. All DMC. I think I stitched her up in a 2-day period. full of, so way out of print, and there's even a boy version, which I looked and not, yeah, one was enough. But she was full of quarter stitches and half stitches. Nope, I just did the full X's and did back stitch where I kind of wanted the back stitch to be. No, actually it wasn't DMC. I converted it to color and cotton because I have a crap ton of those. So yeah, I was threatened by Arlene to not frame her, to actually finish her off, so I did. And I'm happy with how she turned out. Her head's a little, like she got kind of, but no, I love it. I just did a simple purple stripe, and then, so I sew, how I do my pillows finishing, I sew all the way around, and then I cut the backing fabric, slice, turn it inside out, and then use the same fabric and use it as a patch. And I just use fabric glue and then put it over the incision that I made. I filled her with rice. You can just get bags of rice at the dollar store for $1. And yeah, I love her. She's super cute. And I'm happy that I was able to, yeah, get her into a doll shape. All right, I have also purchased a couple items. Yes, I could have gone to Hobby Lobby or Michael's to get my one thread for my sampler, but I thought I haven't purchased anything in a long time, so yeah. I happened to see this scrolling IG Silver Creek samplers, which I've never done one of their charts. Reaping Love. I love you to death. Yes, love this. Absolutely. And I'd probably change the heart and do like étoile. Maybe. So I have this. I purchased fabric from Needleworker's Delight. Holy, never again. I know people talk about ordering from Needleworker's Delight and did not get my fabric. Waited over a month, contacted them and said, you just need to send out replacement. So this is half of my replacement. Heart hanger 22 count, just in a navy blue. I had purchased this to stitch Mermaid's Folly, and then decided against that one. I got the other fabric, but as you know, Mermaid's Folly is a no-go. So now I have this blue heart hanger for something else. I purchased Instant Antique Primitive Gatherings, aging solution for fabrics and other fibers. And so yeah, you can just finish your piece and then spray this on, and it sort of gives it a rustic antique look. And then I bought some fabric as well. So the spray chart and the thread that I ordered. Is there something else? No, this was all 1, 2, 3 stitch. The 3 pieces of fabric here that I purchased, I was watching going to come to me. Jerry, Yankee Candle Stitcher. Yes. And she showed pieces that she's been stitching on using XJU design fabric. People talk about the fabric, how great it is, grandpa sleeves, grandma slip. Went on to the website, nothing that didn't have any of that grandpa sleeve, and just didn't see anything. So Googled it. First thing that came up was an Etsy store called Pumpkin Creek Primitives. I will link it down below. And sure enough, there was some of grandpa's sleeve. So I got 16 count fat quarter. Yes, 16 count, but that's fine. And I really like how 1/1 looks on 16 count, because I am using 16 or 18 count for my stitched goddess, and I really like the look of it. So yeah, grandpa sleeve, 16 count. 18 count, this is Midnight Ride, also in a fat quarter. And fat quarter 18 count, this is Jack-o'-lantern. Yeah, so can't wait to try these. I was thinking I Love You to Death on one of these. Maybe probably that one, because I don't want any of the colors kind of clashing. So probably grandpa sleeve and do I Love You to Death. So yeah, that is it. That's all I got. That's all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them down below, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.